you ever said yes to something at work and instantly regretted it, saying no isn't easy? Especially when you daren't want to seem lazy, uncooperative, or disrespectful. But here's the truth. If you don't set boundaries, your time won't belong to you anymore. In today's video, you'll learn 3 polite and professional ways to say no at work without burning bridges, damaging relationships, or sounding rude. These phrases are short, simple, and easy to use in emails, meetings, or even when you're talking to your boss. Let's get started. Phrase 1. Let me check my bandwidth and get back to you. This line gives you space. It buys you time to assess whether you really can take on that new task, instead of committing on the spot. It also sounds thoughtful and professional, not dismissive. People respect you more when you pause and prioritize, not when you say yes to everything. Let's look at an example. Say your boss asks you to lead a new initiative. You know it's important, but you already have a full plate. Instead of blurting out a quick yes, respond with, "Let me check my bandwidth and get back to you." Now you've bought yourself time. Think carefully about whether you really want this extra responsibility. Can you delegate some of your existing tasks? Can you ask for more resources? After you've checked your bandwidth, follow up with either a thoughtful yes or a well-reasoned no. For instance, after looking at my schedule, I have some availability. I can lead this project if you give me X, Y, and Z. Or thanks for thinking of me. Right now I'm focused on ABC. I don't think I'll be able to give this project the attention it needs. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. It tells the platform to share this video with more people so they can benefit from it too. Thanks for your support. In a nutshell, this first phrase lets you buy time without committing on the spot. It gives you space to assess your workload and priorities, and it sounds thoughtful and professional. Now let's move on to the second phrase for those times when you genuinely and take on the request. I won't be able to take that on right now, but here's another option. Is it perfect when you can't help directly, but still want to be useful? Suggest someone else offer to circle back later or recommend a resource. It keeps you helpful without stretching yourself too thin. Here's an example. Imagine a colleague asks you to review their presentation. You re-swamped with your own work, and you don't have time to give the feedback they need. Instead of saying a quick "I'm sorry, I'm just too busy," try this. "I won't be able to take a look at your presentation right now, but I can suggest a few people who might be able to help. Would you like me to connect you with Sarah or John?" By offering an alternative, you demonstrate that you're invested in their success. Even if you can't commit to their request, you remain helpful without overextending yourself. You may be wondering, why bother with politeness? Can't I just say no and move on? Well, here's why. Bet when you're consistently dismissive or rude, people will hesitate to come to you for help in the future. They might avoid asking questions or sharing ideas because they know you won't be supportive. Plus, a little kindness goes a long way. Your colleagues are more likely to understand and respect you if you approach these conversations with empathy and professionalism. Being nice for the sake of being nice isn't the goal. It's about fostering positive relationships that benefit both you and your team. Now let's explore the third phrase for when the request is beyond your role or priorities. "That's outside my current scope, but I can flag it for later." Use this. When someone asks you to do something outside your role or priorities, it's a kind way of saying "not my job" without sounding defensive or negative. For example, let's say someone asks you to fix a printer issue. It's not your responsibility, but you don't want to simply ignore the request. Instead, you could say, "That's outside my current scope, but I can flag it for later." Does John from the IT department handle those kinds of issues? I can ask him. By acknowledging the request and offering to assist in another way, you show that you're still invested in finding a solution. Even though you can't take on the task yourself, you're willing to help find a resolution. This approach demonstrates your commitment to the team while also setting healthy boundaries for your role. Here's a bonus tip. Sometimes people will push back and try to change your mind. They might argue that it won't take much time, or try to guilt you by saying you always say no. So what do you do in these situations? When someone challenges your no, reiterate your boundary calmly and confidently. For instance, you could say, "I appreciate your asking, but saying yes would stretch me too thin, and I wouldn't be able to do my best work. I hope you understand." The key is to be firm without being defensive or apologetic. Remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for setting boundaries. In a nutshell, this third phrase lets you politely decline requests that fall outside your responsibilities. It allows you to acknowledge the request while making it clear that it's not something you can take on. You're not obligated to say why you're declining, but doing so can foster understanding and maintain positive relationships. In conclusion, mastering the art of saying no is a crucial skill for anyone who wants to thrive professionally. It's not about being difficult, it's about being intentional. When you say no to others, it gives you the space to say yes to your own priorities and values. You regain control over your schedule, your energy, and ultimately your success. Saying no doesn't mean you're being selfish or hurting others. In fact, when you set healthy boundaries, you become more present and engaged in the things you choose to commit to. You show respect for yourself and your commitments. Whether you're refacing pressure to take on more work than you can handle or trying to balance multiple priorities, these phrases will help you communicate your limits with grace and confidence. And remember, saying no doesn't burn bridges, it builds character. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other tips on communication and leadership. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on valuable career insights. Thank you for watching.